chocolate bar. I got a quarter. I got a rock.
Hello and welcome to Sports Talk in the Burgh, the show where three students willingly sit at this desk and sometimes laugh together about the wins, usually cry about the Steelers, and always yell at each other about if Penn State is a real football team or not. I'm your host, Brett Magulik, joined by RMU Live producer Jordan Warwick, and on my other side, Colonial Sports Center AP and known expression lover, Nate Fennell. Now, today we're going to start a little different. We're going to throw it over to Jordan to talk some football, specifically his season awards one quarter into the NFL season. So Jordan, take it away.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, it's time for your favorite time of the week. It's time to hear about my opinion about sports, you know? And this week we're talking about my first quarter of the season award winners. Now, to kick off everything, let's talk about some rookies. This year we've had some amazing rookies come out and play so far, from Cam Scatteraboo to Tetaroa McMillan to Amarin Hampton. But there's one rookie that has risen above the rest, and that man is the one, the only, Emeka Egbuka. So far throughout 4 games, Emeka is tied for third in the NFL with touchdowns. He has 4 of them on the season. He is top 15 in yards, and this man has already proved that he is a star. Mark my words, by the end of the season, he will be the Buccaneers' #1 receiver. Now, let's talk about some coaches, shall we? This year, for me, it's a pretty easy one. There's no one other than Shane Steichen that could even be considered for this award. This man has James Daniel looking like a freaking potential MVP candidate. Steichen came into this year a little bit as a hot seat candidate for firing, but he has coached himself well off of that seat. The Colts are at the top of the AFC South, and they are tied for second in the AFC. Steichen has these boys playing on a different level of football, and he deserves all of the love. Now, let's head over to the defensive side of the ball for a second as we take a look at the Defensive Player of the Year race. Now, this is going to pain me when I say this, but it's no one other than Myles Garrett. The Browns currently have allowed the fewest yards, and Garrett is a huge part of that, especially being the best player on the team. Myles Garrett is also top 4 in PFF grade amongst all edge rushers. This man is the only thing worth anything on the Browns and with their sorry team. He has been one of the top 3 defensive players for almost his entire career, and that has not changed this year. So Myles Garrett is my Defensive Player of the Year. Let's go back to the offensive side of the ball, and let's talk about Puka Nacua, man. Puka Nacua is the Offensive Player of the Year already. I don't care. This man is #1 in everything except touchdowns. He leads the NFL in receptions. He has 42 of them. He clears the field when it comes to receiving yards. He has 502 yards so far, almost 1,000 yards throughout 5 weeks, half a 1,000 yards. That is 100 yards more than the person in second place in Jackson Smith and Jigba. Now, Puka is not a touchdown beast, but I'm not putting that on him because every time the Rams are in the red zone, they don't like giving him the ball. They throw it to Devonta Adams, or they will have Kyron Williams run it in. But this man is the best receiver in the league. He's better than everyone at everything. He's a monster, and no one else comes close to him to deserving this award. Well, saving the supposed best award for last, let's talk about the MVP. If this award meant what it was supposed to mean, Pookie, my Pookie Bear, would win this too. But we all know that it's a QB award, and thus my quarterback season award is going to go to Matt Stafford, okay? Matt Stafford is the one throwing Puka Nacua the ball. The Rams are tied for the second best record in the NFC, and Stafford is also close to the league. Close to the top of the league in yards. He has 1,100 of them. He is third place with 8 touchdowns, and his touchdown to interception ratio is also stellar for him. He on the year he has 8 touchdowns and 2 picks. And this year, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Matt Stafford to get the respect that he deserves. That is why he's my MVP so far. Gentlemen, what do you think about that?
Honestly, Jordan, this is a very, very solid list. Like, I think there are very few things on here that I don't like. I mean, you mentioned one thing I pick off the top of my head. You mentioned Shane Steichen. I agree, best coach of the year so far, no doubt whatsoever. But how do you not, for the MVP candidate, how do you not show at least a little bit of love to our boy Daniel Jones, who's the one commanding that offense?
Listen, he is the one commanding the offense, but I'm still not that certain about him. I'm still not that impressed with him. His numbers are decent. He has 6 touchdowns to three picks. The Colts are going to be a decent team. But I think just the caliber of player is, I know that Matt Stafford is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I know that he plays at that MVP level, and I have more confidence in him continue his ways throughout the season. But I think Matt Stafford has better numbers. I think Matt Stafford has a better football team. I think he just deserves it a little bit more than Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones would be a great candidate. He might finish top 3 or top 5 if he continues on his ways, but right now I don't think so.
I can see that. I can understand where that is coming from. Matt Stafford has always been a dog. No matter what kind of situation he's in, he's always been perceived as that fantastic quarterback. Nate, you look like you have something you really want to say right now.
It's a joke.
What's a joke?
Matt Stafford and Daniel Jones.
Okay, so who would you have as your MVP so far then, Nate?
Not Matt Stafford.
Okay,
or Daniel
who? Tell
Jones.
us.
Who would it
Tell
be?
us. Give us an answer, please.
The field.
The field? Mm-hmm. The football field?
No, you give me Matt Stafford, you give me Daniel Jones, I'm taking the field.
You know MVP is a singular award. You can only give it to one person. You know that, right? Or are you aware how football works, how awards work? You can't give it to a bunch of people. You know that, Nate?
Stafford
It is a
and
singular
Jones.
person. That's 2 people. You got to pick
that's
one.
2 people.
You'd pick either of those?
Yes. Who would you?
Well, okay, if it's not either of those, then who would it be?
He
field.
doesn't have
The
an
field.
answer.
Well,
He
you
doesn't
know,
have an answer.
we're gonna step out for a minute. I think
doesn't know what he's
we gotta have a little quick conversation with our co-host here. But when we come back, we stick with a good iron, but discuss more college football. So don't go anywhere.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
You know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
Welcome back. It's been a crazy weekend for the NCAA, so let's get right into it. This weekend's college football slate had its fair share of chaos, with the usual upsets, some ranked teams being taken down. But in general, what was the biggest upset in college football this weekend? Nate, what do you think about this one?
Well, I'm happy we had that opportunity to take a break. It gave me a couple minutes to get my phone out, look up some of the rules of football. I now understand not multiple people can take home the MVP.
We're learning. I'm really happy for you that you found that out.
That's good.
I'm proud of you,
And
man.
in terms of the upset, I think I'm going to go with Virginia. I mean,
I
that
think
was
that's
a
the right
big
answer, no
deal.
doubt.
I mean, did you see the crowd after? It
I
was
did.
electric. Probably the fastest field storm we'll ever see. This team wasn't great last year. They were 5-7. They finished 3-5 in ACC play, and then to change it all up, they only brought in the 27th ranked transfer portal class according to On3. So it's not like they were Texas Tech or one of these teams throwing all this money out there to rebuild their roster. I mean, this is a surprise. They're able to take down the number 8 ranked Florida State. What a win it is for this team.
You know, Nate,
No doubt, absolutely.
I do not have any problems with your pick. I think it was a upset, and I actually have some friends that were there. Well, but I'm gonna go with Alabama over Georgia. Now I know. Usually Bama spanks on Georgia, but for me this is a little bit different. Okay, Georgia had a 33-game home streak coming into this game, and Bama has started off the season bad. They lost to FSU earlier. They got dominated 31-17. Okay, Bama was 3-point underdogs coming into this game. The public was hammering down on Georgia, and Georgia also looked pretty good against their win over Tennessee. So I do not think that it's necessarily a crazy upset. I do think, Nate, I agree with you, but that the Virginia one is more. But I don't ever want to actually agree with you on this show, so I had to go with Alabama versus Georgia.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing for you is this would be a big deal. Like you said, 33 home game win streak and everything, but unfortunately, a lot of those 33 teams aren't Alabama. Alabama's beaten Georgia 10 out of their last 11 meetings. The only win Georgia had was at a neutral site, so we're not talking about home field advantage for one team or another in that meeting. This is all about Bama making Georgia their little brother.
I agree with Nate on this one. I just don't see how you can take. We saw the graphic on the screen. Virginia, unranked, took down the 8th-ranked Florida State. How can you not be excited about that? And how can that not be the base?
Listen, I think it's exciting. I think it's great. I think the field storm after was a little fun, but a little bit dangerous. I'm very curious to see what that fine is going to be. But no, I thought the upset was great, but I couldn't agree with him. Come on.
I mean, the field storming, one of the greatest traditions in football, personally. But speaking of traditions, we've seen traditions across college football that stir the soul, like dotting the I on Ohio State, the Sooner Schooner, Howard's Rock. But under the lights in Happy Valley, 100,000 fans dressed in white to create a spectacle like no other. So let's settle this completely now. Can we call Penn State's whiteout the biggest and best college tradition in football? Jordan, what do you think?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's look up the definition. Well, let's look up. Let's read the definition of tradition, please. It is the transmission of customs or beliefs from generation to generation, or the fact of being passed on in this way. Okay, generation to generation, the Penn State whiteout has been passed on from student body to student body. Something created by the student body. Something that creates this electric atmosphere. You see everybody in the crowd wearing white. Everybody gets hype. Okay, Nate, you're going to sleep here. But if you're playing at Beaver Stadium, you're not going to sleep in a whiteout, okay?
No,
you're
not.
going
No,
to.
Actually, this year I am.
All right.
Okay, you're not.
Let's tone it down a little bit. Let's tone it down here a little bit.
Electric. That is that's the best tradition in college football.
And you know what that is? That's a couple years ago. That wasn't this year. Did you see the crowd this year? The crowd this year was a wine and cheese crowd.
You're saying you can't have
little
off
golf
years?
claps here and there.
You can't have off years?
Off
That's
years,
what happens when you
it's
play.
over. They lost. This isn't a tradition. They're 13-9 in whiteouts.
All right. Hey, we got to tone this one down a little bit.
A 59% win rate. The average home team win rate in college football is 63 to 64%. How is it a good tradition when your win rate during the supposed
I have to read the definition? There is a reason I started off. There is a reason I started off.
The greatest crowd for what? To lose football games? To be the below the average standard? This team's bad. Their tradition's bad. Their coach is bad. They can't win the big game.
Is it the best tradition in college football, Nate? It's not about.
You know what my favorite?
Do they win? Do they win with it?
Winning.
It's not
That's
about
my
it.
favorite
That
tradition.
is not a tradition.
Dynasty.
Winning is not
a dynasty.
All right, we need to calm this down here.
Bama has the best tradition.
Great debate.
They did with
I
Nick
know,
Saban.
it gets heated.
I'd
But
rather
this
win
is-
with Nick Saban than lose with freaking James Franklin.
Okay. All right. It seems like we've calmed down a little bit now. But how could I kind of have to stick with Jordan here on this one? How just because this one game here? How can you not consider this the greatest tradition in college football?
One game.
It is one game.
I just
It is
read
one
you a
game. They
stat
lost one
from
game.
22 games.
What does
Brett,
it
they
have
are
to
13
do
and
with
9 in the
tradition,
whiteout.
though? That's not the
It's a
tradition.
winning record.
That is 59% during the supposed greatest atmosphere.
Is it
in
winning?
all
atmosphere has
of
nothing to do with the
no,
actual
that
game.
is that.
Listen.
It's
This is
not
the
about the
greatest
winning.
atmosphere
Is
in
it the
all of
best
sports, and the
tradition?
team
Yes,
can't
it is.
win
It
with
is
it.
the
All
best
right.
They are
tradition.
below
Okay,
the average
this
home win rate.
one is way too heated.
We need
We're
to
gonna
learn how to read,
we're
ladies
going
and
to
gentlemen.
table this discussion for now. We're going to move on a little bit here. So we're looking forward and looking ahead to the 2026 NFL draft, and spotlight is heating up from players exceeding their hype to some of them not meeting their hype so much, but few prospects are making serious noise. So whose performances have proved they should go #1 overall in the NFL draft? Jordan, what do you think about it?
Okay, listen, I know you're not going to agree with me with this one either, but it's Garrett Nussmeier, all right? I'm on the Nuss bus, okay? I know he's not the best player in college football. He's not going to be the best player in this draft. But we know one thing, quarterback values matter, okay? He is the best quarterback that's going to come out because I do not believe that Dante Moore is going to come out this year. He is going to lead a good football team this year. He's wearing number 18 for a reason. You know why LSU puts 18 on people. He's a dog, okay? I'm taking a Gus bus all the way to the #1 pick in the draft, all right?
Well, unlike you, I don't value positions as much as you do. I don't really care
There's a reason why
who's a quarterback, who's not a quarterback. I care if you're good at college football or good at football in general. Unfortunately for Garrett Nussmeier, he's not very good at football.
Was Cam Ward
And then
the best
along
player?
with most of the other quarterbacks in this draft process, none of them are very good. So that's why you're going to follow me on this vision, this journey we're going to go down.
Okay.
The Titans, Cam Ward, everybody saw what Cam Ward said about their team.
What did he say?
You know, he said we're not great.
Okay.
We have things to improve on, and you know, maybe we should tank for Tua type season. But instead for Tua, it's going to be for Caleb Downs because he is the greatest college football player on the defensive side of the ball we've seen in a while. This man shuts down any part of the field he is in. He is the anchor of one of the greatest Ohio State defenses we've seen in a while, and he is going to go #1 overall, and they will have Cam Ward and they will have Caleb Downs on opposite sides of the ball.
He's going to go #1 overall.
#1 overall.
Nate, when is the last time a safety has went #1 overall?
I'll give you the answer. This year, 2026.
Was Cam Ward the best player in the draft last year?
No, but it was a
No,
QB-needy
but
Titans. It was a QB-needy Titans.
was
It was a QB-needy Titans.
Listen, here's the thing though. A team is not going to just pick a player because he's the best player. If the Titans finish with the #1 overall pick and Cam Ward and they still believe that he is the future, do you know what they're going to do? They're not going to pick Caleb Downs. They are going to trade back and they are going to get more assets and they might pick Caleb Downs a couple spots down the board.
Why would you
because
trade
no
back
one's
when
going to
Caleb
take a
Downs is
safety
gonna go
first overall.
no matter who's
No
taking
one's
him?
going to take a safety
It doesn't
first
really matter
overall.
if it's
We're
the
not
Titans,
doing- we're not
if it's
doing
the
this again.
Bengals.
We're not
It's not
doing
going
this
to be
again.
anybody.
We're not doing this
Caleb
again.
Downs is going
anybody.
#1 overall.
He's not.
Let me tell you this.
Breathing
if
exercises.
Garrett Nussmeier
We got to
played
calm it down.
quarterback and Caleb Downs is on the other side of the field, he's picking off every throw he has.
Every
single
All right,
throw.
no,
This
we're
guy
done.
don't know what
I'm
he's
cutting-
talking
I'm
about.
cutting this
He
off.
can't even
I'm
hit a
cutting this
mesh
off.
route.
I'm cutting this off. Breathing exercises, guys. This is the perfect time for us to take a little break because it is officially October, which means that ghosts and ghouls are out. Find out what this means when we return on Spooky Talk in the Burgh.
The death of George Floyd, who died in police custody Monday night.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation. It's going to take more than just us, you know, as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to help us make a change because it just can't be us.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Spooky Talk in the Burgh. Now, these next takes are sure to scare your socks off and send a chill down your spine. But not quite yet. We still have some time before we can trick or treat later this month. These next predictions will be for the month of October. And then later in the month, we will be back to revisit these takes. If you did well, you might just receive that king-size candy bar you get from the witch part of your neighborhood. But if you do bad, don't be expecting anything too good, anything too sweet in your basket. So let's get the ball rolling here. First up, the first 4 weeks of the NFL season, we've been able to get a small little taste of which teams are real and which teams not so much. Think about it as a fun-sized candy bar. A small piece of what could be in store for the full season. But has there been any team that has tricked us so far and is going to have a ghoulish October? Nate, what do you think about this?
Well, first, I just want to give a message to my producers. When my takes are 100% accurate, I expect either a Crunch Bar or a Kit Kat bar. Those are my two favorite chocolates, so I will be having one of either or maybe both at the end of the month. Anyways, the Jags, they are frauds. They stink. They're 3-1, and they beat the Panthers. They stink. They beat the Texans. They stink. And then they beat the banged-up Niners. Am I supposed to be impressed about beating backups? Like, I don't really think I have anything to smile at here. And then they have their bye this month, so they only have 3 games, and they're going to lose all 3 of those games. They play the Chiefs. That's a loss. They play the Seahawks. That's another loss. And then they play the Rams, and look at that. They're going to be below 500 to end the month.
You think the Seahawks is lost? I personally disagree with that, but we can circle back
All right,
to that
my
a
Steeler
little bit
friend,
later.
Steeler fan of a friend.
Listen, though, I'm going to go with the Ravens, and I know that they're already bad, but I think that they can get worse, okay? They're starting off this season 1-3, but Lamar Jackson might be out 2 to 3 weeks, okay? He has a hamstring injury that he's dealing with, and as of right now, we're still uncertain about his recovery time from that. So if he's out from 2 to 3 weeks, this team is going to suck. Their defense already sucks. They are second to last in yards allowed, or most yards allowed. They were dominated by the Chiefs last week. They lost to the Lions and the Bills earlier. Derrick Henry has a huge fumbling problem. He's fumbled 3 in the last 4 games. And if Lamar's out, their run game is going to be bad, okay? Because a big reason why Derrick Henry is so great, because Lamar allows him to open up. So
yeah, I mean, I think both of those teams are very valid. I'm really worried about the Ravens, especially since it seems like Lamar is the only thing holding that team together. With his injury, that's going to be tough. But speaking of injuries, I'm going to go with the 49ers here. Not because they're bad, but just because they are so banged up. They beat the Saints and the Cardinals and the Seahawks in the beginning of the season. 3 huge wins, so this team is good whenever they have everybody. They just don't have anybody anymore. As you can see, like Nate mentioned, they lost to the Jags with nobody, no Bosa, no Kittle. Purdy is questionable. He missed a week already. He's got that turf toe that seems like it flared up a little bit, so we don't know if he's even starting this week. As well, he has nobody to throw to. Jennings and Pearsall are both out as well. And as we mentioned earlier, the Jags, we saw those cracks in this team last week. This is going to be a rough month for the Niners. I think this is going to be a rough month for all 3 of them.
yeah, and it always seems like it is a rough time for the Niners, and it's very unfortunate that they're suffering all of these injuries, because I thought that they were going to have a big bounce back. But hopefully, once November time hits and they get George Kittle back and everybody back, they can be a great football team.
Well, let's sweeten things up a little bit. Let's talk a little bit more positive, because next up, the big dogs of the MLB have officially started play for the 2025 season, with the Dodgers, Tigers, Red Sox, and Cubs all picking up wins yesterday in the first round and their first round wild card games. When it comes to the end of the month, which baseball club will be giving out the best treat this year to their fan base? Jordan, which team will be giving out the best treats?
Well, I'm going to go with my team, my baseball team. I'm going to go with the Cleveland Guardians, all right? You're laughing over there. Listen, earlier in the season, they were 15.5 games back. They came back and won the Central Division, okay? They have great, consistent hitters.
Name one.
Jose Ramirez?
Name another.
Oh, you said name one. I'm going to name one. Thank you very much. And
Good job, you got one.
And then I will continue with my point. All right, they have great, amazing hitters. I'm very excited for the Guardians. And I will admit, this might be a little bit of my bias coming out, but I don't care, Nate. All right, I'm going to go with my team, and they are going to be the best. Thank you very much. Now, what do you think?
Yeah, unlike you, I'm going to pick the team that's actually a good team. It's the Mariners. They've got a very strong rotation frontlined by Gilbert, Castillo, and Kirby. And I'm not going to take a yawning from a man who doesn't know who bats 2, 3, or 4 in the Guardians lineup. But yeah, they've got a very strong rotation and their lineup is loaded. Unlike the Guardians, I can name who's on their team. They got Cal Raleigh. You probably know him. He's a front runner for the MVP. They got Julio Rodriguez. He is a superstar. They got Randy Arozarena. He has always provided big moments in the playoffs. Bo Naylor, very good player. And they got Eugenio Suarez, probably the biggest trade acquisition at the deadline from the Diamondbacks. This team is deep, and they are going to make a run.
Yeah, I mean, both those teams obviously have very compelling cases, but I think we're forgetting about one of the biggest powerhouses in the NL. Got to talk about the Philadelphia Phillies here. You know, I am a Pittsburgh boy, so again, this hurts me to say, but how can you not look at the Phillies this year? They got that first round bye. They're sitting second in the NL playoff bracket. They got elite power hitting. Kyle Schwarber lead in the MLB, 56 homers, 132 RBIs, .563 slugging percentage, and he is a postseason nightmare for pitchers. And we also got the balanced offensive core. You got Trey Turner, Bryce Harper. Both of those guys have been absolute dogs for their entire careers. Turner, .304 average, 179 hits, and 36 stolen bases. Harper sitting at a calm .261, 27 homers, and a .844 OPS. These guys got speed, they got consistency, and they got clutch power. And they also got a top-tier rotation. Zach Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez, Ranger Suarez. How can you not look towards this team, Nate?
Yeah, I mean,
I
really do enjoy that you picked a team from Pennsylvania because everybody knows it's not ever going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates giving their fans a treat in October. I mean, we're always just getting tricked.
Honestly, it might be the Pittsburgh Pirates giving the best treat because we don't have to watch them play anymore. That's one thing we should talk about here, but that might be a nice little treat.
It would be a good treat firing the GM.
Yeah. All right, well, now let's move on here. Now, if you're a scaredy cat, I would make sure you have a blanket for the next topic because this one might get a little real and a little spooky. So what is the scariest thing happening in sports right now? Overall, scariest thing you could see this month. Nate, what do you think?
Well, this one, it's a little odd. You may not care for it. I love it. It's the Texas defense. They are going to be scary good anchoring what was supposed to be one of the top teams in college football coming into the season. Their offense has struggled. They haven't looked great. Arch Manning, little underwhelming. You know what's not underwhelming? The defense. It's loaded. Malik Muhammad, Colin Simmons, Anthony Hill. I could go on and on about the star talent they have. Michael Taft's back. He's anchoring that secondary. It is absolutely loaded. And once they start going into conference play here, it's going to get tougher with the defenses they face also. So their offense is going to need to step up. But you know what? They're probably not going to step up. So the defense is going to do what they continue to do. They're going to hold teams to low scores, and they're going to win because of that. And everyone's going to see why Texas was rated so highly coming into the year.
Jordan, what's scaring you this October?
What's scaring me is going to be the inevitable fall off of the Pittsburgh Steelers, okay? We are all Steelers fans here, and we know how it goes, okay? The Steelers are going to Steelers. They're going to fall off, right? In the next 3 games, they play the Browns, the Bengals, and the Packers. While I know that sounds like, oh, those are some easy winnable games, we all know how the Steelers are. I can easily see them dropping one of those games. I 100% think that they're going to lose to the Packers. I think that realistically, this team comes out of October 1-2. They're going to drop back down to earth, and I don't know when we get to November, are we still going to be talking about the Steelers being top of the AFC North or maybe even AFC contenders? I don't have a lot of confidence in this team really at all.
No, I agree with that one, Jordan. This next month is going to be pretty scary for the Steelers. But I think we're forgetting that the hockey is starting back up. There was a huge deal for the Wild recently. Kirill Kaprizov, one of the biggest guys in the Wild, he just got a huge contract, $17 million per year. The biggest thing going on in sports right now is that Connor McDavid is not signed to a contract. This is his last year on his contract. If I am an Oilers fan right now, I have my blanket over me right now. I am absolutely shivering. He is going to demand so much money from this team, and the Oilers just don't have this cap space. I mean, I know it might be a little bit niche. It might not be that you're smiling a little bit too much. That might be the scariest thing I've seen so far today. But if I'm an Orioles fan right now, I am terrified.
Especially when they got so close to winning the Stanley Cups in years past. If they lose him, it's going to be terrible.
No.
Well, bone chilling today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time here on Sports Talk in the Burgh.